We're ready. We're ready to make you horny.
You want to laugh? Um,
What?
I was sleeping with someone, and they're like, "Do you have like trouble sleeping?" And I'm like, "No, I like sleep fine like most of the nights." Like,
Right.
this is, and like you be choking in your sleep,
Oh
and
my God.
I'm like, "What?" And then like sometimes you like look like you're seizing, and you just like then go back to sleep, and I'm like, "Okay," like, and so it had me shook for a second because I was like.
Goodness
Yeah, do I have a
gracious.
problem sleeping? And then I thought about it and I'm like, I see my mouth open. And I mean mouth wide.
Oh, oh.
And I was like, so I looked it up online. I was like, all right, like let's see what it is. But most definitely I'll get it checked out when I go back to the doctor. But I think it's just because of my tonsils and my tongue. So it made me
Do you
laugh.
snore?
I do. And I'm like,
Okay, that makes sense.
so I'm like, just get these tonsils.
Ooh,
But also, like
honey.
before the pandemic, I hated sleeping around my teammates because my mouth will be wide open. I mean, wide, like
And
ah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
But I just found out like maybe it's just because I have a big tongue, and like if your tongue is
Mm,
pressed back, it can cause you to choke. So hopefully,
mm. Ain't nothing
it's
wrong with a big tongue.
ain't no around. Apparently there is.
Well, in terms of sleeping, possibly I can
Yeah.
see that, but I mean, it has other benefits. If that
Yeah.
comes with it, that comes with it. Okay.
All right. So we are. Oh no, you do not need copyright information. All right, we are back with the other Southerners podcast. If you don't know, now you know. We are also doing Spotify, Anchor, and YouTube. So now you can watch us via YouTube. And if you figure it out, we can watch us on Spotify as well. And we'll let you
Is
all
it
know.
not posted on Apple Music yet either?
No, it's not. Okay.
I think
Not
that's
to my.
boo boo.
Let's double check. But we're not on Apple yet. So tell your friend, tell your neighbor, tell your enemy to listen to us frequently so you can get on Apple Podcasts.
Because the
So
more listens we get, the more unlocks we get.
so please, 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 please listen to us so we can get on Apple Podcasts. But yeah, this is the other Southerners podcast. My name is Jamala Reed, that otherwise known as Southern Heat. Born and raised in Houston, Texas, now living in Chicago, where I wish I had some Southern heat. And then my co-host, none other than the one, the only. I'm not gonna introduce them because they can introduce themselves, and y'all see how sexy they look right now. Like, come on! Oh my goodness! Stay some sexiness for the rest of us. Like, I'm getting
Oh,
warm just looking at you right now.
sorry, babes. I can't save anything for y'all. I gotta make sure I eat with no crumbs on my plate. No crumbs left. The Dallas Diamond from Dallas, Texas. Per. I like when you introduce me though. Like honestly, it's nice when I could just sit back and smile at the camera and be pretty. But we'll say that for next time.
All right. I mean, if you want me to redo the intros, I can redo the intro.
I mean, hey, go ahead, hit it.
And none other than my co-host, 2 degrees, 2 masters from the University of Oklahoma, shall I say? Y'all may know him as the baddest bitch to walk this earth. Many of us look up to look at him, okay? Quite
No, quite
literally.
literally.
When he walks in a room, when you stand up, you still look like you sitting down, and you got to go on your toes to earn the respect. Because none other than the Dallas Diamond is on this podcast with us today, shining and gracing us with his presence. I just want to say the blonde is iconic. I just found out I'm into blondes, so no wonder why
Like
I know what you.
blondes do really have more fun. Like, and I mean, hey, I get to just do what the fuck I want. Period.
But period. And coming to you live from Dallas.
Yes, literally
And I can't wait to get to Texas. I can't.
representing the South. Whoop whoop. Okay.
So for those of you know, this is the other Southerners podcast. If the tea ain't sweet,
It ain't Southern, baby.
And that's why we're here. We are two people from the South. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. Dallas was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. Makai is born and raised in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, I like the name
And
up.
so we're bringing this podcast together to talk about our identities as being people from the South who are queer identified and Black, and to have this conversation on our podcast. And we bring people on the show sometimes, and we want to hear what y'all got to say. So please entertain us in our Southern accents, because I found out recently that I have a Southern accent. So yeah, this is our show. For our returning listeners, just know this show is going to be untraditional. We're not going to keep the same type of cue going on. This is our 2022 review. So we got 10 things we're going to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about them. You sure agree, Makai?
Wait, say it again?
Yeah, I got 10 things we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
10, yeah.
Oh, you want me to go over them?
No, it's okay. I was bringing them up.
Okay, yeah, because it's definitely a different format than our normal show. Like normally we start off with like the 10 lines of like a Disney song, but instead we're doing 10 different topics. We're doing a successive amount of time in what we talk for each topic. So the first thing we talk about will get 1 minute, second topic will get 2, and as you go forward, once it gets to 10 minutes, the 10th topic gets 10 minutes of discussion. So I guess you want to tell us what our topics are, or do you want to just flow in it as we go?
A lot of things are happening. We're recording this podcast on December 27th. So a lot of things have happened. A lot of cancellation of flights have happened. We'll get to that later. So 1 minute is going to be spent on Christmas plate. Happy holidays. What was on your Christmas plate? Happy holidays. 2, unpopular opinion about the holidays. 3, free my nigga BG, into which y'all did say less. WNBA season finna be lit, but we're going to get more to that later. The SZA album is number 4. Number 5 is Megan and Tory, because the niggas in jail. About time.
Oh God!
Number
Save it for the discussion.
Is gonna be misogyny, war, and misinformation, and y'all know that's where I got my bachelor's degree in. We're gonna talk about African American studies, and this one, the pen isn't running out of ink on this one, so I'm glad it's high up, but we had to move it down because Makai was like, "You're gonna go on a rant." 7 is our 60 days challenge that we're gonna do. We're gonna get to more of that in the new year. We're gonna talk about that and what's gonna happen with that. 8 is 2022. 9 is 2023, our hopes and dreams for it. And then 10, we're going to talk about our accomplishments. And then also, it is what it is. Because sometimes you just got to leave shit where it is, eh?
Yeah.
So that's going to be today's 10 topics. And each of those topics are going to get those allotted amount of minutes. All right. So, first minute. You ready?
Yeah, I wish we had something that we could be like, wait.
You can share your screen.
Wait. I'm wondering. Hold on. Is that possible? Can I do that on here? No.
No, just
go to my phone. Like on my, but then you won't be able to see me though. It sucks ass.
Oh yeah, that is true.
You know what I mean?
It's okay. Here, I can do this because we're gonna make it work. All right. I'm gonna set our timer. Is there any disclaimers you want to give before we get started with these with what's your little our conversations?
What disclaimers and what?
I would like to say I think it's an important disclaimer because I think when people say stuff on the podcast, people are like, "Oh my God, you said that! Oh my God, la la la," and like on this podcast, especially being listeners for all like we may say something today and disagree with it tomorrow. So like you have to continue listening to podcasts because like I'm 23 right now. I mean, I'm at the end of my young 20s, going into mid 20s, right?
Right.
When I turn 26, I'm probably gonna sound a lot different. So like understand, like we are susceptible to growth, we are susceptible to change. So our opinions may change. You may just have to come and ask us. You have to keep listening to podcasts to see how we develop. That's just facts and truth.
And I applaud you for saying that because I agree. But I will say everything I say today, I do stand 10 toes down on. Like I might not stand 10 toes down on it tomorrow. But today, I stand fully by everything I say. So let's just hope it don't go too crazy.
Look, not tomorrow too. Like I might fuck with you today, might not fuck with you tomorrow.
Okay, because look, don't give a fuck about no credit score because I might be rich as fuck tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, she left me with that one. I said, ooh. I just got to 698. I
Okay.
I don't have to leave you out that line. I'm like, it's like that picture of the guys in the club and everybody else got like money and the one guy got like a debit card.
I won't give a fuck
Like, ooh,
tomorrow.
he is me. All right,
That's my girl. We
let's talk
ready?
about the Christmas plate and happy holidays. Ready?
Let's do it.
And go.
Okay, so this is 1 minute for each of us, 1 minute for both of us.
We could do 1 minute for each of us on these.
Okay. Happy holidays and Christmas plate.
Yeah.
Okay, so happy holidays. I guess things are cool. I like being home with my family. It's a little bit of a transition because I graduated. So I'm just kind of still feeling like I'm home for holidays right now. So it still feels very like, just party mode.
Mhm.
My Christmas play, what do we had lasagna, but then also I had a really fun kind of adventure Christmas night. One of my old friends from Oklahoma like just came to pick us up and like drove us around. We had Fuel City and everything. So I have Fuel City on Christmas Day, which is always really fun. Um, yeah. Lasagna was good though. Oh, I got drunk as fuck off of spiked eggnog, y'all. Be careful. That shit with that rum and then whipped cream vodka in it too. KO.
All right. All right.
Okay,
Ready?
bad. So do I give you a minute or you can give yourself a
Yeah.
minute, Phil?
I give myself a minute because it's gonna be short.
Okay.
Uh,
Period.
so you ready?
Yep.
All right, start it up. So, as most of you may or may not know, if you follow me on social media, it's at Maverick underscore PLE. I was actually stranded in Chicago. Thank God I live here. Because I was flying Southwest. So, it's funny now because like we're actually rushing to this podcast location because I had to go meet up with my teammates so we can drive to Texas for our tournament. So I actually missed Christmas with my family. Although I don't observe Christmas. It's still a family gathering. It's like the first family gathering we had as a family that everybody was there. And so it's kind of sad to me because I was like, I'm missing it. But luckily, I have great teammates and great people around me. And I got to go to Chinatown and Chicago and got to hang with some amazing people. I won't say their names because I didn't ask them if I could say their names on the podcast. I'm very serious about privacy for people and my friends, especially. But I really do appreciate that invite. I woke up on Christmas crying. People were calling me and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay, but like it was just all laughs, great food. I'm probably gonna go back without them, respectfully. I got a kazoo. My friend's grandmother like gave out kazoos. Uh,
Oh.
and like I always wanted one as a kid, and I never got like a real one as a kid. But now I have a real one as an adult, so it was like a very much like childish, like oh my god, that was like the nicest gift you could give me, like because I always wanted one as a kid. So yeah,
Right.
fuck Southwest. Shout out to my teammates. Shout out to all the rugby players. I will see y'all at Free Tales. But yeah, shout out to all the people who make family during the holidays, if that makes sense.
Love
And I
that.
found out that there's a joke that Jewish people go to Chinese restaurants on Christmas because both of them, basically those group of people, majority of those groups of people do not celebrate Christmas. So because the Chinese restaurants are open, Jewish people go. And I was like, people are making the go ahead.
No, I just realized Jewish people don't celebrate Christmas because that's why they have Hanukkah because they don't believe in Jesus. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just
Jesus isn't the savior to them. Jesus is only the savior to Christians mostly. That's crazy. But yeah, somebody tell me who identified as Jewish like said that joke, and I was like, I didn't laugh. Everybody was like, I'm like, I didn't get it. And I don't want to be anti-Semitic, and they're like, oh, I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, people are like, yeah, that's what happens. So yeah, education and learning. Now driving to from Chicago to Texas.
yay.
Yeah.
Kazoos are like those like really sturdy noisemakers, yes.
Yeah. Do I have it near me? I don't.
That's okay.
Maybe my coat. But if I
That's
stand up,
fine.
y'all gonna see my shorts. I know someone's gonna make fun of my shorts. All right. Unpopular opinion, 2 minutes, holiday edition. Ready? Go.
unpopular opinion, and I'm glad I got 2 minutes for it because I do kind of want to explain why I say it. I think that the matching family portrait pictures for Christmas or matching family pictures for Christmas have gotten so tacky. And I say that as I'm wearing the matching pajama pants that my mom
Yeah.
got for me, my dad, and her. And we took pictures in it today, or not today, like this holiday. But I don't know, like I just feel like it's just unnecessary pressure for families to like kind of like take these pictures together and pretend that they're like oh so perfect, oh so happy, like like we're like yee cheese, we're matching, we're a big family, but it's like in reality you probably were like arguing with each other the entire holiday season or the entire year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which granted, me and my family did get into a little bit of like a tit for tat. My dad was being a little uncooperative to take pictures, but outside of that, we still have fun taking pictures. So I understand why people do take pictures, but it was just also like very much so. I haven't been on social media for months. I feel like maybe 2, 3 months now, and then I got back on Instagram just to make
And
my
broke the
post.
internet.
That was
Looking
fun.
bad as fuck. I said, wow, maybe I do like blondes. Thank you, Makai.
You're welcome. Because that was fun. But then getting on Instagram just for like that little quick moment, over the holidays and seeing everyone posting basically the identical picture. Like everyone's doing the same type of poses, the same type of smiles, damn near wearing the same pajamas. So it's just kind of like, yikes, like what are we really? Are we really a society of individuality or are we just a society of copycatting the same imagination?
Yeah.
So
That is.
I'm done. Yeah, that's my 2 minutes.
I think you have a good point. And I think I was looking and there's like a Peruvian indigenous culture or indigenous community there
Mhm.
that they fight like on every December 25th. They like if there's like a beef from that year from the previous time, they just box it out. And I
I
said,
love that. I love that.
period. Because some of our
Let's go
families
ahead and
are doing
scrap
it
this shit out. Space and
anyway.
opportunity on December 25th. If you don't take it any other day of the year, I got you on the 25th of December. Know that. Yeah,
You
I like
fucked
that.
up. You got me fucked up on May 22nd, 2022. I will see you December 25th, 2022. Matter of fact, I'm a Manny Pacquiao train. Floyd Mayweather was it? Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee on your ass.
Okay.
December 25th. I'm gonna come back stuffed, ready to go. Okay.
And promise, I'm still thinking about it all those months as it passed, ready to whoop your ass.
And I'm gonna release all these feelings I got against you. Like you cut me off in traffic. That's enough. But yeah, I think my unpopular opinion is uh I think it's unpopular but getting more popular. If we're gonna have a holiday season like this for like Christians and like Abraham
Uh-huh.
religions or like just Christianity in general, we need to do the same for everybody else. Personally, like I think there should be an option where if somebody doesn't want to take all this like Christmas holiday time off and they don't observe a Christian like Christianity, and they're like,
Right.
hey, I actually want to use my time towards the holidays that matter to me the most. Like Hanukkah's not even the biggest holiday for people who are Jewish.
Oh, they don't celebrate that seriously.
I mean, people do, but it's not like it's because like they get off because of Christmas. But like
Right.
other cultures, they have to like take off a lot to like practice their own religion. I'm like, maybe, if we
Right.
give workers rights and like if somebody doesn't observe a Christian holiday, give that time back, bank them hours, or
Right.
like you should be able to say, hey, these are the religious holidays I have to observe automatically off. Religious holidays shouldn't become part of your PTO. That's just me personally. That's my personal belief. I get it. Like nobody's in the office right now, even if we say we're in the office right now. But
Right.
I hate that idea. Like no, let people decide when they want to take 2 weeks off and talk to their family, because that's not everybody.
Oh, well, sorry.
All right, we got 3 minutes.
Well, really quick though, just because
Yeah,
you said that earlier and it made me think about that when you were talking about how the Jewish people will go to Chinese restaurants and like, the whole moment, it's funny because I don't even realize how embedded like Christmas is into Southern culture. but also Christianity in general is into Southern culture to the point that like I was like, wait, Chinese food restaurants be open on Christmas? Like, I promise you, I've never even tried to go eat anything on like that on Christmas Day. To be like, and that just makes me like, why would I even eat Chinese food on Christmas Day? It's Christmas, but it's just like that's just further into that Southern culture of being like Southern slash Christian culture of being like, how dare you eat something so untraditional on such a traditional day?
Yeah. And I think in Texas, like for me personally, I've never met so many Jewish people in my life until I moved to the Midwest. And like I probably
Mm,
only
interesting.
like I haven't seen it like so like people being so openly Jewish, shall I say. Like and understandably so, why not in the South?
Mm,
But yeah, especially with like a lot of like European immigrants, especially here in Chicago.
that
There
makes sense.
there's a lot of Jewish people. Even Houston actually has one of the largest Jewish communities in America. I believe they have one of the largest synagogues, I know for sure. Or it's one of the largest synagogues in the South. But
Interesting.
yeah, like I was again like culture shocks from not being in this from the South is like, oh, like you
Mm,
have to like learn about people, like so many different cultures have so many different holidays, and like it's not just religion, it's also culture as well. So like, for example, not everybody may want to celebrate Juneteenth. That was a big discussion when Juneteenth occurred, right? Is because although like Black people are encapsulated as like people from all over the diaspora, Juneteenth is very specific to people in the South, right? It's very, very, very specific, and it was actually just a really regional holiday in Galveston because it's not like we celebrate the Emancipation Proclamation. We're celebrating the Emancipation Proclamation actually reaching Texas and people finding out they're free. Like that was a whole, I believe, like 2 years, maybe like it was a little bit over a
right,
year for it to get to Texas for people to know they were actually
right.
free. So like in Houston, it was always a big thing for Juneteenth to occur. Like we were always like, yeah, I'm not gonna work Juneteenth, I'm gonna take it off, and then 4th of July, I'm gonna make money back in double. Like like I would be missing a check within that month's time. But like now it's a national holiday, it's kind of weird. I'm like, if your family was always in, above the Mason Dixie line, like to me at first it was like, why are you celebrating Juneteenth? Like you ain't got nothing to do with that. And like especially like people who are immigrated to the United States, who are not identified as Black but are actually like truly African Americans, then it's kind of like, why are you this? Like it's like me celebrating Nigerian Independence Day. Like congratulations to Nigeria, respectfully. But like Juneteenth was like specifically our holiday, if that makes sense.
I just realized something.
What?
White people get Juneteenth off too.
Yes, exactly.
They're getting paid to take Juneteenth off too.
I'm
Okay,
like,
nothing. I don't want
y'all
to talk
should be
about
at
it. What's
work.
the next topic? I don't want to talk about it.
I actually liked it when y'all noticed that there's no Black people at work. But I
Yeah,
think, and it's just me. Like, I think I'm very grateful.
that's
I'm not gonna.
ugly.
It's a double edged sword, right? Because
Yeah,
at the same time, I'm grateful, like especially people who, like if you don't get to like just take days off like that, right? Like you may like people who I know
right,
like who need their check. You can't just take off like that, right?
right.
But like at the same time, I'm like, but what are y'all doing on Juneteenth? I actually got asked by my company by my team and my company to do a Juneteenth uh presentation. And I was like, Juneteenth is actually kind of weird of a holiday. And I explained through it as a person who like grew up with Juneteenth as a holiday in Houston. And I was like, now it's a federal holiday. And like, what are y'all gonna do as white people? What are y'all gonna do? Sit around and enjoy freedom? True freedom at that? Like, there's a lot of discussions that needs to happen on Juneteenth because, like, what are we gonna do if you see Bessie and Sue walking down the street singing "Kumbaya Juneteenth" in fucking New York? Like, that's weird. Like, it's just stuff that's weird and like nuanced about holidays. And I would just say I would rather us like elect to observe a holiday or not. That's my 2 cents. That's my popular opinion. Call me what you want. Call me what you will. Can't say I'm not a
Mm.
bad bitch. All right. Speaking of freedom, the next topic
You're
is,
exceeding your minutes. I want you to know that.
well, we already knew these minutes were going to exceed, but we could talk about free BG for 3 minutes.
Okay. I mean, I feel like that can be a collective 3 minutes because I don't have too much to say.
Yeah.
Besides,
Can be a collective 4 minutes
congratulations.
as well. Yeah. All right. Ready?
Okay, period.
Collective 3 minutes for Free BG.
I think I'm glad she's out. Amen. It was about time. I think the trade was very interesting considering didn't they trade her with like an actual criminal, like an actual Russian criminal in terms of like over here, which was one thing. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
really know, so
He was
I
an
really
arms
don't.
dealer. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, arms deal. I feel like that's a lot different, but I don't really care for law. I think all of that politics is bullshit anyway. I think if anything, I'm kind of upset that she got out because I went to Vegas the same week she got out, and one of the like shirtless men that are on the strip trying to get you to take pictures with them and shit. When I refused to take a picture with him, he said, "Oh fuck, Brittany Griner just got out of jail and doesn't want to take a picture with me." So apparently, since I'm tall and I guess light skin is what I'm getting into saying, and black, I'm Brittany Griner. I don't look like Brittany Griner.
Mm. That's really ain't shit, and I hope he's broke. But at the same time,
No
that
comment.
kind of goes into discussion about Brittany Griner. So Brittany Griner, which I pay attention to, so I'm a Brittany Griner fan. I have a Brittany Griner jersey. Big BG fan. Been a big BG fan. Um, and she's worked on herself as well. Like she's worked on herself to be a better person.
Yeah,
Because I think she had some DV allegations, or a DV case, but like she's worked through it, right? Like she's a person I've seen like grow. Like I've seen her watch her since he was at Baylor, and that inspired me as a kid, even though I won't grow to be 6'5". And one thing that's always like surrounded like Brittany Griner's conversation, people are like, "Isn't that woman that looks like a dude and who talks like a dude?" I'm like, why are we associating feminism with height and like muscle depth, right? And I think that was like one of my first like tropes into like, fuck what y'all feel. If I'm look if like being muscular means being masculine, then like so be it, right? And so it's just like all these tropes of what we think about gender is into this discussion. Another big part of this is if this was LeBron, y'all want to give two fucks. If this was Draymond, y'all want to give two fucks. Y'all been begging for that nigga to come by crook or by crook. We could have Vladimir Putin in jail in the United States, and y'all been like, please get that motherfucker back so we can trade him out for LeBron. Like, and at the end of the day, there's a lot of connotation about the fact that she's a black woman, one, a masculine black woman at that, and a gay masculine black woman. If there was anybody else, y'all would probably not give two fucks or pay two shits of an attention to it. But I'm happy she's home. This situation has put stuff into perspective as I want to play rugby internationally. Like, where are you gonna go play rugby? My family's like, you sure you want to hold off on playing international? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm gonna go to jail. I'm gonna go to jail here or there. Like, there's nothing stopping that. But yeah, happy BG's home. We're gonna get into the misogyny war later on. All right.
yeah. Hold on. My dad is giving me new information right now.
You want to pause the recording?
No, it's okay.
What do you mean new information?
Okay.
Okay.
He got my mom a new phone, and I'm hoping it's an iPhone because any more Androids in this house is gonna make me throw up. I'm sorry. I know that sounds so like
I actually hope my dad
classist,
doesn't.
but
I hope my dad doesn't get an iPhone. Because my dad calls me at the most randomest times. And like, although our conversations are very brief, if he says flip the camera around, I'm going to fucking flip. I'm going to drop. Like, my face is going to go blank. Like, my mom has an iPhone, and she had to learn very quickly, stop FaceTiming me without telling me you're going to FaceTime me because I'm not going to answer. So, yeah. Because I'll be in situations and places. I don't want y'all to know I'm in situations and places big.
I just need a good FaceTime. I feel like FaceTime is just always such an intimate moment, but it's whatever. You got a
Like with
5G
you,
Android.
I'll do it anytime. Like, me, I wake up barefaced, you like, yes, what you want? Like still crust in my mouth. My parents, they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, why are you still in bed? And I'll be like, mind your business. You're not paying bills over here.
Okay, the period though.
All right, let's get to the next discussion.
4 minutes for SZA.
4 minutes for the album. Ready? Go.
I first listened. First of all, I like the sound of her album because I feel like it's SZA, like being SZA, but in her own like evolved way. So I always appreciate when artists are like growing in their music. I think people were really like dogging her so hard for it, like in terms of the content of the album, saying like, she's like you must have been one of those people that was being like, oh, she's crying about her ex, like she's such a weak ass bitch and all that. And I'm like, oh my God, like first of all, get off the bitches that take a minute to get over their exes. You don't know what a bitch was going through or how emotional a hoe might be. Let's start there. Okay, give people some fucking grace. So I love the album. Can I listen to it? Like, is it Renaissance for me? No. Like, if I heard one song, I'm not like I have to start it from the beginning. Like, if I heard anything off of Renaissance, I'm listening to "I'm That Girl" all the way down to like the very bottom, some of Renaissance. But yeah, that's what I have to say.
All right. I'm gonna say this, and then we can get to discussions of the album. I think SZA has a great list of songs
Yeah.
released under the name of that album. I forgot what's the name of that album?
SOS.
SOS. I think SOS is a good name for a collection of songs. That is not an album. That is a playlist. Here's my thing. I think as songs individually, some hold up better than others. But
Okay.
is it a renaissance where you want to make sure you're listening to the next song as it's on the
No.
track? You can put that shit on shuffle and it will play no different as if you put that shit from 1 to 16. I think this is a great artist. I think she's going to get some Grammys off of this album, but I don't think it'll be because it's an album. I think she's going to get Grammys because like the SOS or Snooze or like specific songs are going like, hey, that was nice. But as a collection of songs, like as an album category, when what Ari Lennox released, Jasmine Sullivan released, Beyonce released, she may get nominated, but she's not winning the category. And if she wins the category, it must be on streams because that album is not playthrough. It's not playthrough. I don't like to play through. I think I can get lost. There's a lot of skips. And that's just because it's not my taste. Hey, yo, whatever. It is what it is. But I think are there songs on there? Almost definitely jam it to. Hell yeah, I've been playing Snooze a lot. So I
Okay. I
think
fuck with Low.
she was putting that pen to the paper, but they weren't from the same book, if that makes sense.
It does. I can see that. I can understand
And
that.
and so I don't think it's I think there's been a lot of comments saying the same thing. Like people are like, yeah, I could see that. And I'm like, yeah, but like, is it an actual is it a decent album? Sure. But it's not one of those albums like I don't if I was to buy like a CD or a vinyl, I wouldn't hold it for long. I would sell it. Like I would wait till she wins some Grammys or stuff, get a limited edition one, wait 2 years, resell it. It wouldn't be one I would keep for like, oh, I got this one. It's like, oh yeah, I got that.
Wow. And this is when you see who's really a fan of an artist and who just liked the album because it was a good album. Because I really thought bitches was gonna be fighting for that Scissor Girl at the Control because Control was a masterpiece,
Control was
absolutely.
good, but it's
But
not a
I'm
it's not a
like,
playthrough.
I'm
It's
a
not a
SZA
playthrough.
stan. Like,
You and
wait,
a lot of other
Control
white
isn't a
women I found
playthrough?
out. Huh?
Control isn't a playthrough for you?
Control is a playthrough, but SOS
Oh,
isn't.
okay. And I would say SOS isn't a playthrough in the moment that like, am I singing every song as much as I am Control? No. But can I let SOS play through and I'm gonna enjoy a part of every song? Yeah. Like am I cranked up to every song? No, I'm not saying that. I'm
I'm not
not.
saying you have to be cranked up, but I'm
But the
like,
songs are good. Like the only thing I don't like is her feature with Travis Scott, and that's only because I just kind of am scared of Travis Scott.
fair game, fair game.
But everything else is like it's a cool listen. It's SZA. Let's be real. SZA is not Doja. SZA is not like she's not Beyonce. Like she's not Jasmine Sullivan or Ari Lennox. Like she makes music that's very much so like for SZA.
I,
Like those type of girls.
I'll give you a break on this. I'll give you a break on
Whiny
this.
crybaby girls. Y'all got her when she was young and she was crybaby about her life and growing up. She was crybaby about a nigga at this time in her life. Let her get her cry out. Wasn't nobody saying anything about Adele on 21 or 19. Crying about a nigga, crying about a nigga, crying about a nigga. And wasn't anybody say about that? Nothing. It's like, oh, give her flowers, give her roses.
Don't go for Adele. That's our favorite white woman.
Get up off my bitch, SZA.
So here's my thing, and I had to contemplate this. I was like, so this is how I measure artists. One, can you play the album through? Like, how good is the album? Like, okay, can't play the album through. Like, what songs are you like? All right, you gotta repeat it. If I was to get the album a rating, it'll be a 7.5 out of 10. And actually, it made me make an 8. And I'm gonna explain something. Would I still get a SZA ticket to a concert? Absolutely. Because I want to see her perform live. Just because I haven't yet to see her perform live, I want to see her perform live. Somebody tell me that she is good performing live. But if she's not good performing live, best believe I'm texting that person like, you told me this girl was good performing live. You lied to me. I spent $300 on this ticket. I want my money back. That's it. But like, again, is it a good album through and through? But can you pull some hits off of that motherfucker? Can you put something in every Grammy category to compete? Absolutely. Like, she gonna get some Billboard awards. She gonna get some platinums. But it's not this isn't one that you're like all-time classics as the albums. You gotta listen to it. Boom. No. You're like, you gotta listen. Like, you'll have a few songs on there that you're like,
all-time classic SZA albums. Like, this bitch got a real discography to pull from anyway. How many albums?
Does.
How many albums does she have? This is her third album. This is her sophomore album. This ain't even her junior.
Not.
Baby, this is her sophomore album, her full body work. That first one was not a full album.
We're taking it. I'm currently spilling my phone. So albums, I have 2014 Z, Control, and then SOS. So technically, this is her junior year album.
Sis, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, that first album is not considered an album.
I'm gonna show this to the people on the screen.
I'm telling you, bro, that's not considered an album. Of course, Spotify's gonna call it an album. Spotify don't know the difference between an album and an EP.
Well, it's better than that. It was better curated than that shit. It's better curated than SOS. I said it.
Bro, it's her second studio album. Exactly.
She should have got out the studio. She should have been on that fucking plank writing
her
music.
Sophomore. And this is what I'm saying. She doesn't have a full
goddamn playing with Diana writing music.
She has more. I would say if we're considering her SoundCloud songs, maybe. Because she was a musician for sure. But she's just a different expressive. Like she's not the same type of like. And the only reason I'm fearful, about how people react to this album is because I'm like, what are y'all gonna do when Frank comes out with a new album? Because we know Frank very much so comes out with music that's based on his emotions and the things he's going through in his life. And recently, he's lost his brother, so he's gonna be writing from a place of grief whenever he gets back to the studio. So if people are expecting something different, what are we gonna do when it's not giving Chanel? It's giving Sad Boy.
It's actually Blonde, but okay. So here's my thing. I think.
What do you mean? I'm talking about the type of music.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be giving a more Godspeed type vibe.
Okay. But that's the thing. What if it's not? Because people thought SZA was about to be giving us more of a Control type of moment, and it wasn't. I am a
Frank fan. I have been patiently waiting. For Frank to release an album since Donald Trump was president. Okay, look at me.
You will still be waiting. Yes.
And look, if Donald Trump becomes president again, I'm still waiting for a Frank album. Guess what? I'm waiting. Just come here, man.
Wait. Bitch, wait. Guess what? Because this is me. This is me outside Frank's house. I'm waiting, okay? I'm going to look good while I wait.
We over here
He's not coming anytime soon.
Frank?
Yeah.
Frank? Got the album?
I'm ready.
Hello, bro. Release the album, bro.
Not today.
Album, okay, bro.
You said come back next week. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. Frank, stop playing.
I need more music, Frank.
But that's the thing. He's one of those artists that he really thrives from the place that he's from. Because even when you think about Pyramids, not Pyramids. Channel Orange. Channel Orange did not sound the same. Did it have that same Frank kind of touch, that Frank sound? Sure, but in terms of like what he was writing about, Channel Orange did not sound the same as who was at the Channel Orange. It wasn't Blonde. Who was at the Channel Orange?
No, it was Channel Orange and Blonde.
Okay, so then yeah, Blonde.
But no, it was Endless then Blonde.
Let me look. You got my head fucked up right now. Anyway, let's go to the next topic. I'm sorry, it was way too
But
long.
this is all I have to say. I'm a Frank fan, okay? I have all Frank's albums on vinyl, okay? Them vinyls ain't leaving me. Them vinyls here to stay, okay? Let me tell you something about them albums made it from
Getting
Oklahoma.
massage noir, if you ask me, but we'll get there.
If let me tell you something. I am waiting on Frank. If Frank want to change up, he can change up. But let me tell you something. There's a difference between changing the ball and then changing the sport. All right?
It's giving massage noir against SZA, if you ask me.
No. Don't even be like that. Don't even be like
giving
that.
hate towards a
No, don't
black
even be
woman,
like.
if you ask
Don't even be
me.
like that. Don't even
Because
be like that.
these two people are doing the
Don't
exact
even
same
be like
thing.
that.
And you told me you would resell SZA's vinyl, but you're never getting rid of one of Frank's. Sounds like the patriarchy, if you ask me.
Not control.
Wow. Okay, anyway, I'm done. Exactly. You can't even support a black woman.
How dare you treat me like this? How dare you treat me like this? You know I ride for black women more than anybody.
But I'm like, I need
I will lay
somebody
my
to
life on the
respect
street for another black woman. I will lay my life on the ground for another black woman. And you over here with this blasphemy.
You need to listen to SOS again. Give it another shot.
Okay, I got time tomorrow. So if I'll come back in 2023 with the
it's not a bad album.
I'm sorry. You that or somebody comes in my DMs or somebody I know comes to me like, I heard what you said about SZA. It's okay.
So it's not a bad album.
It's not a bad album, but it's like in this year, you can release this in 2021 and we'll be like, all right, this is a good album, girl. This year and this competitive year, and Summer Walker released music too. This last year it could have competed.
Why is she competing? Why is she competing when she's just being an artist?
I'm talking about awards. Herself? I'm talking about awards. I ain't talking about, now I will tell you what. In some of these songs, I can most definitely tell that the ink was her blood. I'm not gonna lie to you. But and some of these songs, I'm like, she was writing with a pencil. So it was a fluctuation in quality of songs. I was like, But I know she got a good pen. There's plenty of songs on that album. I'm like, yo, I'm here for it. But then she started sounding like Taylor Swift, and I'm like, girl, if I want to go to a Taylor Swift concert, I would have been fighting Ticketmaster.
Wow. Let's go to the next topic.
We'll go to the next topic, and we're gonna have to keep that one short. We're gonna talk about Megan and Tory for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, you can lead on that one.
All I gotta say is, I told you so. And how dare you not believe black women? You incoherent, incompetent, stupid motherfuckers. Especially you black men. Actually, it's the next topic because I'm all one on y'all motherfuckers today. Here's my thing. Y'all show your ass so hard when y'all do not like black women. It is crazy to me. And that nigga is in jail. And guess where he's gonna be in jail? After he gets out of jail, he's taking his ass back to Canada. And guess what? He could take his ass and Drake and stay on the north side of this goddamn continent. Stay over there and get cold. Get comfortable. Because guess what? We don't want you. We don't need you. I would like an apology as big as a disrespect from Drake. I would like an apology as big as a disrespect from LeBron James. From the rest of you Negroes, y'all cannot articulate. Neither do you know parts of speech. So if you could articulate it, you probably should. If you can't, then shut the fuck up and keep black women's names out your motherfucking mouth. And if you come to Houston, all I gotta say is make sure you get on your knees and kiss the ground that Megan Thee Stallion walks on. Thank you so much. And stop blaming Rock Nation for shit. You and your trifling ass said you can go back to Canada with your fucking kid who should have been at school playing games on the playground instead of at the courthouse watching his daddy go to jail. That nigga gonna be taller than him when he gets out of jail. Hopefully he learns his lesson. But guess what? If he's a woman head like his daddy, probably should go in jail with him. Thank you.
Tory Lanez is from Canada?
Yes.
Bro, get your
and all you do is remix songs. Make an original song.
Get your maple syrup drinking ass
out of here, right. Boy. You was average, my nigga. You not even average height. And you're an average rapper. Congratulations.
Is he the average height for Canadians,
you a DJ.
I say, is the average height for Canadians, though?
I fuck a lot.
You have to realize. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Only thing I have to say about the Meg and Tory Lanez case is I was keeping up with it. I think it's very interesting that the people in the comments that are defending Tory Lanez are the same black men that say black women don't want to be with black men anymore.
We don't
And
want
are
to be
the
with y'all. And if you're a black
are
woman
the
and you stand with Tory Lanez, you weird.
it's just
Get on
really
my
weird.
phone.
It's very weird for how people were responding to the news as it came out. But more than anything, I'm happy that Meg got her justice. I'm happy that she can kind of like, put this behind her. I will say, however, I think 22 years is excessive.
Woman should have won a 2-2. You're going to get 22 years.
No, I think that's so excessive, considering the way that we already know that black men, especially, make such a disproportionate amount of,
But he
arrests and like
didn't.
he did do it, but 22 years. You act
Shot her
22.
with a
No, 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 no.
22
Stop.
years.
Stop. Stop.
You
Stop.
shot her with a
No.
22. You
I'm
get 22
sorry.
years.
No, I'm sorry, bro. 22 years, bro. Meg ass is still walking. Her ass walked away from the scene after she got shot.
No, I'm
Bro,
sorry.
she was limping. 22 years and you can still walk, bro. I understand 22 years if she was like in a wheelchair, like she had to go to physical therapy or something, maybe. But she literally limped from the scene. Like, she's fine. And I'm not saying
let's talk about the emotional trauma
okay,
to Meg because of the situation.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve time. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve some type of rehabilitation. But 22 years in prison, 22 years in prison.
Put him under the jail and
do you
deportation.
understand?
You're not allowed to come back to the US.
Bro, I'm sorry. Let's
Send
get
him
this.
and his
I'm
kids.
sorry. I can't take you serious because there are like, I just think about the way that the justice system in America is so unequitable. Where like there's a white man
that's equity
who has
right there.
That's not equity because there are white men. There's a
white.
How much time did they get for Brianna, babes?
Jay,
how much time did they get for Brianna?
Brianna who? Taylor?
Yes.
I don't think they got any time, like 10 years.
Okay. A black woman died. And these white men.
Exactly. So you gotta give them less.
They barely, but this is what I'm saying. A white man killed a black woman and got barely a decade.
You're gonna have to.
Barely a decade.
You're gonna refute these statements.
No, this is all I'm saying.
You're gonna refute these statements when you come back.
I think we really no. I'm not. I'm saying look at how unfair that sounds, and not to say those white men deserve way more time for killing a black woman. And I'm not saying Tory Lanez didn't deserve some type of time. He does, but for him to be 22 years for shooting someone in the foot who walked away from the scene and still has a very capable body and foot, I'm sure she can still get pedicures. Like. She probably has a mark on her foot, but a black woman died and her murderers only got a decade, barely a decade. 22 years and she's walking. No. If she was rolling in a wheelchair, I'd be like, bro, this nigga 50. Like if Meg like couldn't get on stage and do what Meg loves to do anymore, I can understand. But Meg was only at the game for a few months.
Okay. So,
I'm sorry.
Let me first off, hell is hot. Two.
Thank you.
You're gonna listen to this and you're gonna be like, Jamila, I was wrong. And I'm like,
bro,
nah,
I already had a conversation with one of my
good.
I had a conversation with my
Go ahead, post
this
shit.
My bestie already talked to
Go ahead, post this.
This.
I'm gonna post this shit and y'all come back to the next podcast because he's gonna be refuting these statements. He's gonna be like, Jamila, I was wrong. And I'm like, yes. Go ahead and get that coming back for you.
22 years in prison.
Listen to the charges. After the jury deliberated for 2 days, Tory Lanez is convicted on all 3 felony charges. He has 3 felony charges. Right? Assault with a semi-automatic firearm, possession of a concealed, unregistered firearm, negligent discharge of a firearm. He was taken into custody as soon as the verdict was read in the court. Okay. There's one, he already has a record. 2, he's an immigrant to the United States. He's not from here. So after this, he's getting deported. I believe he was on parole, but allegedly he was on parole. So no, hear me out. Logically in law, this is when I need to be rooming back with my law student friends. I'm
Yeah.
also
Well,
this to
everyone, we're bringing in Elise. Thank you, Elise, for bringing.
Hillary, welcome back to the podcast. Yeah,
Because I don't know. I don't get this. I mean, I get what you're saying in terms of charges, but you have to realize I don't believe in the justice system at all. I don't. Granted,
so you're
I'm
talking
glad
about
people.
rehabilitation.
I think I don't even know. I think he should have got time. Yes, I do. I don't. I'm not saying he shouldn't go to prison. I do think for shooting a black woman in the foot, he definitely deserves time. I'm not saying he should be able to get like get off and just do like some anger management. I'm not saying he should get like some what is it called when you get home house arrest. No, you should be in prison for some time. But for 22 years, 22 years. I hold on. And that just means a lot to me right now because I'm 22 years old. So that means he's gonna spend the what I know as my lifetime for shooting someone in the foot. And there's someone who's spending a fraction of that for doing something more horrendous, while there's a black man who did something well less criminal and is probably in there for double.
Okay.
There are black men who are in prison who serve 50-year sentences for having weed possession charges.
Hey, I don't disagree with that.
While Tory Lanez is getting 20 years for shooting someone in the foot, while a white man only got less than 15 for killing a black woman in her home. I'm sorry. Something just doesn't seem right here to me. Something just doesn't seem right here to me.
I'm gonna give my defense. And we're gonna make it 5 minutes. Clock is already started. All right, I'm gonna give my defense, and then we're gonna end this and move on to the next one because we got.
Okay, right. We gotta get it. We gotta get the time. Yeah.
Okay, so here's my thing. We're gonna start off with justice versus rehabilitation, right? Our current justice system is more about punishment, right? Now, yes. In your way of saying, I kind of see what you're saying, but I'm gonna explain where I'm not gonna allow this to ride right now. I can see what you mean, why we shouldn't be just punishing people. We should be rehabilitating them to be back in society, to be good members of our society. Some would say productive. I would say just good people in society, basically, right? Like you want them to no longer commit crimes. You want them to be able to live their life and not have acts of violence. Now, going back to that point, we live in a justice system. So, of course, or like a prison system that is very well known for retribution. So, like, what you did, you finna get that and shit worse by going to prison. Point blank period. Now I agree we should have a more rehabilitative system, but since we don't, I want that nigga to get the axe. Now, here's my second thing, right? I understand your point. As a black people in America are commonly disenfranchised. I agree with that. Do black people get longer sentences than their white counterparts? Totally agree. Did Breonna Taylor's killers get a lot less? Yes. But also, that was a case, I believe, in Carolina, one of the Carolinas versus California. Two different justice systems. They're not even federal charges, right? I mean, those guys were federal charges. Tory Lanez is just local. So, here's what I'm trying to get to on that thing, to get to a point. Yes, there are people in jail who are in jail for 50 years for a gram of weed. Correct. Are there people in jail who do not deserve to be in jail? Absolutely. Can I agree that Breonna Taylor's killers should be in jail for an extended period of time, if not for their life? Absolutely, I can agree to that. But also, if you're talking about in the sense of a system that is supposed to be not retributive. Retributive? Is that the word I'm saying? But basically a punishable system, a punitive system, right? Yes, Tory Lanez can get 22 years. Let me explain why. He is found guilty on 3 charges. I believe he has a prior felony, so he's probably going to get the max. And then he's also an immigrant from Canada. In most places, he will get time and then get sent back and told don't come back. But let me get to the point of the situation. Yes, Breonna Taylor and Megan Thee Stallion are both black women, and yes, Megan Thee Stallion is alive and okay. But we're not gonna ignore the antics that man put her through and her team through for the situation. Yes, Meg at the beginning was trying to protect him, but she was also fearing for that man's life. She wants retribution, but she doesn't want that man to die. I hold on. I think that's a real feeling. We understand what it like. If somebody hurts you in the Black community, you know the worst thing you can do for them is call the police because they're probably gonna end up dead. I don't want you dead. I just want an eye for an eye. Now, with that same mentality, going to what you said, well, Meg isn't, she's walking, she can still perform. Her life is okay. Yeah, but we don't see the mental scarring. We don't see her being in therapy after having to go through that whole ordeal, right? This is some guy that you trust as your friend. Your best friend is back here arguing with this dude because y'all fucking whatever, and then he gets jealous of you because he can't be up on you like he wants to be. That's a classic case of abuse, right? And then you don't know who to trust around you in all the situations. And then, like, not to mention the media storm, and then like these men online, especially Black men, who are telling her all these crazy things, from kill herself and all these other situations. Let's not act like Meg didn't go through much more than just getting shot in her feet. She did, and like this happened in like 2020, and we still wait for this guy to go to court. And then you have like Drake and LeBron who are acting like this guy is innocent when you know damn well that motherfucker shot you in your feet, right? So hear me out when I say, if it's 22 years they're gonna give him, they should give him all those years. Because yes, Meg is okay, but also she's not okay. Like there is still mental, emotional damage done to the victim. At the end of the day, you still violate the law 3 times. 3 times. That's 3 different charges that have 3 different years carried to it. So we'll see. I think the maximum I heard somebody say was 5 years. 25 years. So yes, you are right. Black men do go to jail at a higher rate. Yes, they get sentenced at a higher rate and longer rates than white people. But in this situation, it's like R. Kelly. It's like what Huey said on the Boondocks R. Kelly episode. Yes, America treats a lot of Black people wrong, but in this situation, he is not that nigga to be trying to save. No, let that nigga go. Let him go under the jail. There is plenty of other niggas in LA County who are innocent that we should be riding for. And Tory Lanez ain't number one. He's probably number 1,573,000.
I mean, okay. Just one comment and one question. Comment. I'm not arguing for more rehabilitation versus prison time, or he should be rehabilitated. I think he should go to prison. My only thing is I just will stand 10 toes down that I think 22 years is excessive, especially considering the implications. But my question after saying that is, do you think the case would have still been as severe in terms of his sentencing had Meg been a regular person? Had this been a regular person situation, seeing how a regular person, i.e., Breonna Taylor, her story, she wasn't a celebrity. She wasn't like, a public figure like Meg. She wasn't a TikTok star in any way. She was just, a common folk kind of gal. If this type of situation was not so celebrity, do you think it would still turn out the same way it had?
Okay. I'm going to give us 12 minutes on this topic just because we need 6 minutes for misogynoir misinformation. And I'm going to just tie this into that because we're rolling that way so we can keep on time or keep relative to on time. So actually, I'm going to change it to 10 minutes because we kind of running late. And yeah. Okay. So to answer the question, to the comment, if Meg was a regular daily woman, how would this case be different?
Mm-hmm.
Tory Lanez would have never been arrested.
No, and if Tory Lanez, Tory Lanez wasn't a celebrity either. Like neither of them would be celebrities. This was a regular common folk situation.
He would not go to jail. I truly believe that there are so many acts against Black women on the everyday that we don't see or don't hear about. Tory Lanez would be scot-free. Meg would just have to deal with the fact that she was shot. And I don't think and I say this truly as a Black woman, if your case don't gather attention and you don't have some major attorney and it's not perfect from jump, no, there's no way that he even sees a trial, honestly, right? Like I there's so many, and we could see it in like I think Krishan is a great example, like Blueface or Krishan. Like there's so many acts of hatred towards Black women, like from BG to SZA. Like there's so many outward hatred against Black women in the media, and like we even see this with Meg, that a regular Black woman like me doesn't see justice in the situation. If anything, she sees death. Like, imagine like Meg was regular and she ran to the police. They would have killed her. Like, if she didn't have a security guard and everything else, I truly believe somebody like Tory Lanez would have killed her, or somebody like around Tory Lanez would have killed her. Like, that's my factual belief, and nobody would care. Like, and I say that with like all honesty, because without the publicity, who would have said anything? Like, really think about it. Who would have said anything? And I think, and this kind of gets into my misogynoir and misinformation. Black women, to me, in my eyes, Black men are the most deadliest thing to Black women. Period. Next to nothing else. And I'll explain why. Black women are dead to Black women because in the Black community, we have internalized Eurocentric ideas. And Black men know the only thing that's different between them and a white man, or their attempt to be a white man, is them being white, right? We try to chase this idea of getting your paper, getting up. Like, we used to say up like Donald Trump all the time before Donald Trump was a problematic person, right? Like, we want to be like men wanted to be the ideal white man without being white, right? And then they go and date, we could talk about, that's a whole different discussion on like dating white people and like whatever that case is. But we understand that Black men have been taught this narrative that like you need to just only work a little bit harder and you'll be like a white man. But for Black women, it's different, right? It's like you are nowhere close to being a white man, so you just have to struggle through it all, right? Like, your whole life you're just gonna struggle and you're gonna be strong, right? But for Black men from numbers are like, oh, you are the leader of your community. All you gotta do is fight hard and they'll see you as equal. Boom. Like make it to the NFL, they'll see you. They won't even be able to tell the difference, right? We went to OU. We saw Black dudes this all the time. They would join white fraternities, have the whole lingo, everything looked just like Connor. The only difference is they're Black. Right. And then for Black women, it's a lot harder, right? Because at the end of the day, we're just taught you just gotta struggle through and you're gonna be okay, sis. Just hold it in and stay strong. Good luck. Good luck. The fact of misogynoir and the fact of the Black women's trope is that your worst enemy looks like you, right? And not only that, you want to support your worst enemy in this situation. Don't get us wrong, like, and this is me saying metaphorically, but like the most dangerous thing to me is Black men. And we've talked about this in our personal conversations, right? When Black men get enraged, y'all have so much power because the community surrounds y'all when it comes to supporting y'all. And we can look at like Breonna Taylor versus Mike Brown, like the coverage difference. Or I forgot her name. Oh man, I forgot her name. And it'll come to me later on. But it was a Black girl who was an activist in her community. She was raped by a Black guy after the protest, and he dished her body. They weren't able to find it for days. I don't even know if that guy ever saw a sentencing. Like, Black women and Black femme people are the most endangered people in the community. Yet they're the strongest and literally the backbone of the community. The sad part about it is the thing that's supposed to protect us, Black men, also berate us, use us to get strong, and then beat us down to be one level less. So at the end of the day, if Meg was a regular person, this would have never happened. Meg would probably be dead. Meg would probably been dead either because the hospital wouldn't believe her, the police wouldn't believe her, and then Tory probably would have got tried to get retribution and try to kill her so there's no witnesses. And nothing would happen. That's truly my belief. And I think it terrifies me now, especially like now that I've studied it for so long. It's also because there's people like the Hebrew Israelites, right? Like these people who say like, oh, well, like Black people were the original Israelites and everything else. Now you're sharing misinformation where you sound quite literally like white people who stormed the Capitol because we are uneducated. We don't have proper education. We're not allowed to have proper education. Now that's nothing on ourselves. Like the government most definitely has something to do with it. But because there's been so much misinformation and lack of opportunity for education in our community, ready to believe anything and everything that tells us that we're greater than what we are today, that we're ready to put down LGBTQ people, Jewish people, and everybody else to believe that we are somewhat a value, to have somewhat a superiority. But if we just believed in ourselves for who we are, we'll be perfectly fine. And it drives me crazy, and it makes me insane, to which some people are willing to go through. Like, I remember I was in OKC at a Juneteenth festival, nonetheless, and these Black Israelites and stuff. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? And they were only talking to Black men. And I was like, what are y'all doing? And I was with D, my friend D. And and these guys, they're like, we're Black Israelites, we're just trying to Black own everything. We're trying to own everything we own, like our own water, like everything else. And I'm like, y'all are crazy. Like, that's not possible. I believe in Black liberation. I've studied Black liberation. I don't know what the fuck the Black Israelites are doing, but it's not Black liberation. And then they will like pull out the King James version of the Bible and read from it and yell. And I'm like, you're telling me our freedom is gonna come from this white man's Bible. Get another version at least. Like, get the Ethiopian version of the Bible at least. But like, it's beyond me, and it's crazy to me. And it really brings me a lot of concern when I hear people talk about anti-Semitic or like anti-immigration or things of nature, is because at the end of the day, our freedom isn't going to come from tearing down another community. It's most likely probably going to come from joining in on communities on different issues that affect the both of us to get shit done. But what do I know? I'm just a motherfucker sitting on a podcast with a degree, hoping shit changes. You got 2 minutes. I'm sorry I took up most of that time.
I would just say most of my moment for it would be patriarchy fucking sucks. The patriarchy was created to benefit white men. But the only reason the patriarchy runs is because it's a system of the devil. Because God is a Black woman. I do believe that. Which is why I think Black women have it so hard. And the male gaze is a fucking bitch because all of us are convinced that living under the male gaze is easier than being against the male gaze. But then it's hard to define what is being against the male gaze when the entire society is built by the patriarchy. So tough shit. Honestly, I want to study it some more, especially as it relates to race, because like you said, we've internalized, especially like Black femme and Black women, people have internalized like Eurocentric beauty standards. And I say that, I mean, very much so, straight face, even with blonde hair, blonde straight hair in my head. And,
I know I'm
you
joking about
know,
it, but yeah.
no, but it's like real shit. Like we have internalized Eurocentric beauty standards, like for whatever it
Or just
is.
Eurocentric
Like,
values, period.
and values, yeah, like the whole moment of like making your own and like very like individual and not community based like ideas, like even that is very Eurocentric. So I think it's just interesting. I think it's definitely something I want to research more on because I don't think I've studied it enough, but I think I've experienced a lot of the things that go into part of it. And I think that's why I get so interested but also offended by a lot of the topics that come up from it, just because it's like, damn, like this is reality. Like this is really why shit is so tough, especially for Black people. But yeah.
Yeah.
But okay.
But we delved into that today. All right, I
We
did my
did.
rant for the day, y'all. And look, we have time left. Look at us. 10 seconds left, actually.
I'm good on making sure I clean up the time.
Yeah. All right, 60-day challenge. We could talk about it for 7 minutes.
We honestly, we don't even probably need all that, honestly.
And it's okay because we took up time for the rest of them. So
yeah. 60-day challenge. If anybody knows Glorilla, shit might not be. Don't give a fuck about us credit score because I might be rich as fuck tomorrow. Sorry, that's my favorite line from Tomorrow. If you know the Queen Glorilla, she's currently taking over the charts in terms of rap and hip hop music. Love that for her.
To people from Memphis, shout out to the Memphis Inner City Rugby Club and Memphis Rugby, the Flamingos. Love y'all.
Is Glorilla involved with rugby? Did you just have to add that in there just now?
Nah, I just allow Memphis people, or I could say Memphis partners.
Yeah, Memphis period. Because I'm like, if Glorilla plays rugby, that is really a way in right now. Like, bro, we can get you to see her in a competition.
Plays rugby, that would be lit. But I know
that would be hilarious.
Memphis people, we obviously them all the time playing in Oklahoma, and they were just amazing. So shout out to all the Memphis rugby players.
I love that for you, absolutely. But explain what the 60-day challenge is about, Jamila.
All right, Shall I? Let me go look at our notes. Because y'all, we put it in our notes where we have listed our intentions.
No, don't be putting that out because we ain't solid on that just yet. We still got a couple of days
These
to
are
make solid.
subject to change. We told
Subject for
ourselves we have
change.
till December 31st at 10 p.m. To say what our things are. I'm pulling it up now. All right. 60 days of purity based on Gorilla 60 days. Our goal is to use these 60 days to focus and reflect on our intentions physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. We have set our goals with plans to achieve them. And so for both of us, we're only allowed to drink water only. For illness, this can be broken with tea and ginger ale. For stomach issues, you must do moderate movement for 1 hour per day. No alcohol, no sex, no settling. Each participant must put forth a total effort to succeed at all tasks, whether major or minor. No half-ass shit, and journal weekly. We also have some personal things to ourselves. For example, I'm not allowed to eat pizza or order DoorDash or use TikTok, dating apps, and things of that nature. So,
And mine is my business for me to know.
I didn't know you're not allowed to tell. If we break the rules, we have to pay the other person. If Makai doesn't mess up at all during these 60 days, we're going to our Linux concert and it's gonna be meet and greet.
Little does she know I'm coming either way. It's my birthday weekend. I don't give a fuck.
Honestly, I'm so excited for you to go to Chicago. I'm so excited. Oh man, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. And it's outside those days, so we're gonna be lit. But I will say I was planning a trip and it was during Founders Day weekend. And I'm like, oh, I'm about to get lit. It's about to be fun. And I'm like, wait, Founders Day is during these 60 days of purity. How in the hell? How in the hell am I gonna enjoy Founders Day in DC with these 60 days of purity? How am I gonna enjoy Founders Day with these 60 days of purity with no dating apps, no alcohol, no sex? Crime against humanity. Anything you want to say on this? Anything you want to get to?
I really want to I think it's most importantly for me for the 60 days, it's really like a moment of, like you said in the description, like about purity. This year, 2023, we'll talk about it in a minute anyway, but 2023, I just really am going into it with no expectations. And I want it to be a moment where I can be as in touch with my highest self as possible. Because I feel like 23 is probably be such a definitive year for like my like young adult development. And I don't want it to be wasted. I never want any of my years of life to be wasted. So I feel like the 60 days would be a good kickoff. I know, especially somewhere in my personal things, I know I want to do something about reading more. So that'll be interesting because I'll be reading for pleasure and reading for purpose and not reading for a grade.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move to those 8 minutes now for 2022.
Yeah.
And I want to go back on that like topic. Reading for for leisure. So weird. Like I remember I picked up a book by Bell Hooks, and I was like, all right, it's like Communion by Bell Hooks, and I'm reading her like love trilogy or whatever, and like I immediately got a pen and a paper, and I was like, let me put this shit back down. I'm reading this for shits and giggles, not for an academic study. It is a weird concept because I do find myself sometimes like ready to read and like put a pen to paper and like, oh yeah, this is a good note here. This is a good note here. There's like one thing I was like, no, I really got to underline this. She was like telling like what love is and what love looked like. And stuff like that. I was like, girl, Miss Bell Hook bringing out the hook on us. But
Okay.
but I do agree, like it is very difficult to read for leisure as you've been reading for academia for a while. So I say do it. It's difficult at first, but once you do it, I found that I like finished a book in less than 2 days, and I was like, oh, like I didn't know I still had it in me. One, but also two, I was like, when I'm not rushing to a deadline, I just want to read a book to enjoy it, not for information. Different, but for 2022, this year has been changing a lot. I started the year in Oklahoma. As many of you know, I moved to Chicago. I started this year in college rugby. Now I'm a WPL player. You know,
You moved to Chicago earlier this year.
Yeah.
Why does
And
it feel like you've been there longer than that?
yeah, no, like I was looking back and they're like, post like 6 of your favorite pictures. And I'm like looking back and I'm like, wait, like I won a championship in January. Wait, I like won an award for rugby in March. Wait, I captained a team. Wait. Like it's just so many things that have happened in 2022. And I was talking to somebody earlier. I was like, I feel very like I failed. And they're like, why do you feel like you failed? Like you've done everything you could. Like
Wait, did you graduate this year too?
I also graduated this year.
Why does it feel like Tom has like that doesn't feel like that happened this
It
year?
doesn't. It doesn't. 2022 has been for like a long year, but I was at the same time like really fast. And so I don't know, like I don't know if anybody else felt this way. I feel like I've achieved a lot, but I feel like a failure. And like I felt like a failure, like, and it was weird to me because I was talking to somebody about it. I was like, man, I don't even know if I'm good. And my uncle was just like, Jamila, look where you are right now. You got up and moved out the
Right.
same. Like you didn't just say, "Oh yeah, I want to get there." You went there. You're doing it. You're doing it now. And so that's just something to me that I need to like recall that like I did a lot, and like I do a lot. And so I was like, "Yeah, didn't you write 2 books?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I did." Um, like when you're nose down in it, working hard, you don't realize how much work you've been putting into it. And so I think that's one lesson from 2022 is like get up, wake up and smell the fucking roses. Like I did a lot, not only like outwardly but inwardly as well this year. And like made a lot of decisions. I was like, no, like especially towards the end of the year, I've like dedicated to like healing and all these stuff. So yeah, girl. 2022 has been a year. Thank you for all the blessings. Thank you for the major changes you've made in my life. Um, and yeah, it's been a great year. All right, what about you? You got
Oh,
4 minutes.
okay. 2022. I would say, if anything, just being this like on this year of life, I think mines would probably go to recognizing the cycles of myself and the patterns of myself in a more intimate way than I think I've had in the past. Which has been a really good experience just because it's made me a little bit more in touch with myself. But just also very annoying. Like 2022 has been a very annoying year. Like it's just been like really recognizing and holding myself accountable for those patterns has been frustrating just because it's like you recognize where you want to be better and you see where you are doing better, but then you also see where you aren't improving as much as you hoped you were. And having to be mature enough to give yourself grace and love yourself enough to give yourself grace. And recognizing that, just in the fact of recognizing those habits and trying to do whatever you can in those moments, like doing the best with what you got is pretty much like the thing of life now for me, especially as I'm going into the next year. So I guess we can start 2023 now.
Yeah.
Time for 2023.
Oh shit. We're
Yeah.
running. We on the
So I'm
roll.
like,
All
I'm
right.
ready. Like,
All right. So 2023. Let's start with this. You are the person walking up the stairs to 2023. What's in your bag? What you taking with you?
shut up.
And what are
No.
you leaving on them steps?
I'm not. First of all, I want you to know that graphic of that pregnant woman. This because that's what this is right now. The pregnant woman with the stiletto shoes going up the stairs. We left her back in 2019. Okay,
You're
so
walking up
we're
them
not
stairs every year.
every year since I want to talk. Maybe like since 2010, she been hitting
She
them
been
stairs.
walking up them stairs.
Oh, and you know what's so annoying about that graphic the most is that nobody had the fucking audacity to actually just like put an entire year over it. They just kind of changed the digit, So it'd be like 2010, and it wouldn't
We
be a
fucking
full
tired every year.
2011. Yeah, it would just be a one on top of a zero. So it's kind of like, okay, I guess we 2011 now. I would say the thing I'm leaving behind is whichever, and this is me every year because I saw this graphic and I think it was American Eagle or Aeropostale. I don't know if I still have this little like it was like a little advertisement, like little things they put in your
It's the one
bag
we
or
already
whatever.
talked about.
I'm pretty sure the one where I was too fat to wear their clothes at the time. Is that the one? Yes. Okay. Yes. So this is when I used to go to stores that I couldn't fit any of their clothes because I was too fat. I just like torturing myself. But what I did get is one of
You
their little like
kept it around?
advertisement squares. Yes, their little advertisement square, and it was a picture of, and it was a white girl, ironically enough, with blonde hair. And she was standing in front of the camera, and it was a close face shot. It was probably just this, and in front of her face, it said, "Are you who you were a year ago?" And I hung that on my wall, and it didn't haunt me, but it haunted me because it was like I never want to look back a year prior and recognize I'm the same Makai that I was. So I think as I go into 2023, what scares me the most about this next year is the fact that every year going in, I had an idea of what I would look like by December 31st of that year. Going into 2023, I have no clue what it is. Like every year, I was like, I'll be another year closer to graduating, or I'll be like, another year closer to this, or I'll be like another year, like about to do this, or I'll be finished with doing this. Like the end of this year was, I knew that like by December 31st of 2022, I'd be a full fucking, I'm sorry, masters, okay? Because we moved that
Yeah.
castle over, and I got the video and everything. So, I knew by the end of this year I would be a masters. I don't know what I'm gonna be, or what Makai, or what accomplishment, or what change myself will be present by December 31st, 2023. But I'm excited because that's what I mean by having no expectations. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm excited because I'm like, whatever Makai comes, it won't be the same Makai that answers.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I told a story on a podcast that never got released because it was deleted and we don't know where the recording is. But one thing I will say is like the Makai I knew when I left Oklahoma most definitely to be Makai I'm going to see when you come to Chicago, and I'm so excited to see you come to Chicago. You have no idea. It's like it's like one of those like things I budgeted for. Like you will be spending money, so don't act like you're not budgeting some money. Cause I'm like, yeah, we about to have fun. But yeah, for sure, like you're not the Makai that 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 I left Oklahoma with, that
Right.
that's not the same Makai I see before me, and I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be the same Makai I meet in Chicago, which I'm grateful to say. I really do love my friends because they do push me to be better. Right? I know I texted you and I was like, bro, like da 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 da. And you're like, Jamila, get on my face right now, right? But I think we talked about it a lot on this podcast, a lot. Like, if you have not listened to this podcast before, please, you have time to go. Like, our episodes aren't going anywhere. Like, trust and believe. Like, if you want to go hear our older episodes, but you can hear from episode to episode how we grow. And I think it's so evident in this year, like who we were January 1 versus who we are now coming back to January 1. And I'll tell this story now. I'll try to make it quick. But basically there was administrator who I knew very well at OU, who asked me what I was doing after graduation. And I said I was moving back to Texas. And they told me no. And they were basically like, Jamal, I see you in this place, like waiting for trains and living your best life in the city. And I was like, I don't know about that. That's kind of weird. Like, I think I actually kind of laughed in this woman's face. Lo and behold, she was speaking most definitely into the future for me, because now I live in Chicago and I wait for the train all the goddamn time in the cold. So, I'm truly and honestly, like, I don't know what the next year holds. I can ask for it to hold some things for me, but I truly don't know what it holds. But I know for sure, your girl's gonna have to learn. It's most definitely learn and be ready to go. That's one thing I've learned in this whole situation with Southwest and stuff, right? Like maybe you don't need all those goddamn bags. Maybe I don't. Like even now, like this is probably I'm about to pack the lightest I've ever packed for a rugby tournament. Usually I have my bag and everything's like consolidatable. Now I'm like, do I really even need this third bag? Like I have my backpack, I have my game backpack, and then I have a backpack for clothes. And I'm like,
Mhm.
dude, I even need all that stuff. And so I think those lessons like that I'm going to continue to learn, right? But also patience and grace, especially grace, giving it to myself and giving it to others is something. And in 2023, I'm gonna try to do that TikTok thing where I eat 12 grapes and state my intentions
Under the
and
table.
and under the table with red underwear on so I could find love. Not that not that I don't know love, but I know love. I would like to know love in a relationship. Thank you so much for fully monogamous. Unless 2023 I found out I'm polyamorous. I don't know about that. I don't think that's the one for me. But like remaining just staying true to self as for sure. Because I know we talked about the podcast before, but it's okay to date somebody, but can you date you? And while you're dating somebody else, still date you, right? And I've had so many personal experiences on that. I mean, we're gonna talk about another day. I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about dating after college, like how is dating different after college, and things of that nature. And like, wow, what do you talk to your parents about now that you're out of college? Because what do I tell you? What, mom? How are you doing? Good. How was work? Great. Anything else you want to talk about? Nope. And then now it's getting really real because people are like talking about marriage and kids, right? And it's like also shout out to all my friends who got married, who are getting married, got engaged this year. There's a lot of you. I'm not gonna say your names, but I'm proud of y'all. Shout out to y'all finding love. Y'all give me hope. But like one of the discussions we've had previously is like finding love. Is it can you find love and chase your career? We're gonna find out in these 60 days. If for those of you who aren't watching us, Makai is making faces at me because I'm a hopeless romantic, and I think I'm gonna find love in the rain, and we're gonna kiss, and we're gonna hold, and then we're gonna have cute coffee dates and shit. Oh yeah, because we have matching tattoos. Cause we wear our hearts on our sleeves.
I wish I would have thought that the rule when I did this with you. Oh, only thing I have to say following that about 2023. Yes, I'm going to be under a table with red underwear on eating 12 grapes on midnight. I sure am. I absolutely am.
With money in our
Um,
pockets and
with
salt on the
money in
door.
our pockets. Okay, but I will say I'm gonna have to look. I only have a couple of days because it's like what a couple of days before New Year's to look it up because I was under the table last year. I doubt I had on red underwear, but I did hear that
Oh,
last
I
year
packed
about being
red
under the table.
underwear for this situation.
I have underwear ready, and the thing is, I'm interested to see what I find when I look it up because I did it last year and I sat at the table, but I was so unclear at what I was doing. So I think I stayed there for like however many minutes. Like,
Said a
only
minute's
supposed to have
fine.
to. Yeah, you're only supposed to have to be there under a minute or something, like a minute before and a minute after. But I was under probably for like 5 or 7 minutes. I don't know. Like I said, I doubt I was wearing any underwear. I know I didn't have any graves, but I will say it's interesting of when you go into things with one intention, but the universe grants you something else. And I think that's what's important about going into like years with like resolutions and everything and like, goals. It's like I was under that table thinking I was gonna go into that year finding love in a different way, a more meaningful, healthy way. And in my head, when I did it, I thought that was gonna be a relationship with another person, but it ended up being learning everything. Like I got the intention I wanted, but it was more so a personal experience. So as we all are under the tables with red underwear and grapes in our
Yes.
mouths,
That's
and
my intention.
running around the house with luggage so we can travel, and all of these
And
things.
have
Think
money in
about
your hand.
and money in your hands. Like think about what you're doing. Why are you setting these intentions, and what kind of life are you really asking the universe to help you build? And be open for whatever that is. Because I realized this year I did a lot of complaining about not getting that under the table magic that I thought I was getting. But reflecting back over it in a, retrospective manner, I'm realizing I got exactly the magic I needed to get this year. So yeah, do your research. And also for 2023, apparently you're not supposed to do your vision boards until early February because we're in some type of Mercury retrograde or Mercury shadow retrograde or something.
This all
I
you. This all
it's
you. This
you
all you.
know,
Don't ask me no questions. I'm no astrology. I get all my astrology.
um
If somebody sends me an astrology chart, what do? I send it to Makai. I'm like,
you
Makai, can you
send it
please
to me. You do.
translate?
You send it to me. You tell me what should you be worried about. And I think I believe the whole moment for Mercury being in retrograde and the whole shadow period. So if you want to be on the safe side, just use the first month of this year to just kind of think about what your goals are and ask yourself why you want them. And then start making your vision boards on the beginning of February. But in reality, do what the fuck you want. Like, I understand the whole moment of like, why are we making goals in the middle of a dead winter when in reality we shouldn't be actually setting intentions until the end of the zodiac, which would be like in February, beginning March, like Pisces season kind of moment. But do what the fuck you want. Like, you set your own intentions. This is your life. The universe is yours to, manipulate and have fun with. So let that be that. That's my moment. I'm sorry. Let's wrap her up.
Yeah, because I got like 15 minutes and then I gotta get so I would say I agree with Makai. For me personally, I'm actually kind of worried because I won't have time to actually, hopefully tomorrow on the ride to Texas, I can like sit and write a little bit and reflect and journal, because I know that's very important to me. Like birthday, New Year, you sit, reflect, your journal, you think about like life and all those good things. But yeah, I most definitely will be eating 12 grapes, wearing red underwear. Sitting under a table at a rugby function is probably unsafe. But we'll see if I get there. And maybe somebody like, girl, maybe there's like a group of us who do it together.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like, especially once you explain it to people, I feel like somebody's gonna do it with you.
Somebody's gonna do that shit with me, bro.
But be careful. Don't let the host sit too close to you under the table, because if they still got magic and end up marrying somebody, that's how you know they got the magic that was meant for you.
I'm okay. I don't, you know me. I'm like, if it was meant for me, it'll come to me. But I look, I'll try to be a higher being on myself.
Ethereal magic. If you're gonna be playing with magic, you better make sure you play with magic the right way.
We're not gonna talk about me and playing with magic right now.
Oh, you know what? Yep, let's come on. Let's wrap it up, because we're not.
We gotta wrap it up because we can't put this on. We can't put this on.
We're not gonna put that on the podcast. We're not gonna put that on the podcast.
This isn't for the podcast. Maybe another day. Maybe when I'm healed, partnered, we can talk
That's
about
for when we're on the Patreon and people want the real tea. Okay, that's what that's for.
Let's just say, if magic passes me by and it wasn't meant for me, I'm let it go. I've had my experiences. I'm so good. What's meant for me will come, and what's not, we'll let it go. Boop. All right. Before we end this podcast, I know we've said it multiple times before, but we're gonna say it again. Makai, Seth Hemphill. Can I say what? MA. Am I correct, Master of Arts?
Yes, MA.
In human relations from the University of Oklahoma. Is human relations correct?
Human resources from the Department of Human Relations.
From the Department of Human Relations. HR is HR.
Okay, no, HR and HR, literally.
HR and HR. We know who to call. Is there anything you want to say? Please go ahead and give your graduation speech.
I would like to say thank you to my haters, because God bless y'all too. I literally just made that TikTok today. That's why I say that, they're like a little scissor sound.
Girl, my TikTok, I'm like,
I think I would like to say that graduation was a big feat. I'm really happy that I was able to do it. I really don't know what's gonna come from it. I know, blessings, opportunities will fall from it, because the work that was went in. But more than anything, I think I'm more so proud of myself and proud of my community and support system for helping me get this far, because it's truly something that I recognize that like I am the first in my bloodline to do. And I think that that's just so. I'm just taken back by thinking about that. Like, like all my ancestors before can only even dream about being in those places that I've been in for the last 4 years, or even being on like campus period. Like, I have ancestors that was literally like, I am my ancestors' wildest dream.
yeah, truly.
Like, truly, hold on. I am my ancestors' wildest imagination. Like, literally, like, and sexy with it too. Like,
I sometimes I wake up, people like put on makeup and everything. I thank the Lord. I thank the Lord often. I'm like, God, thank you for making me good looking. Somebody told me I had pretty privilege the other day, and I was like, I'm like, I know I worked hard to get here. If you knew me in high school, if you knew me like freshman year of college, you know I ain't had no pretty privilege. I ain't had no pretty privilege. It was pure personality. Pure personality. But boy, I done came up, sitting the other side of the mountain. And somehow I got pretty privilege.
Because with
If
that,
it means
it's
I
something
get to
else.
think less to get where I need to be, well, I guess I got pretty privilege. I'm so sorry. So
No,
sorry.
you fine because I'm glad you said that
I'm sorry.
because another thing with graduation is, and I got to do it looking good. Like, fuck, like it should cost
The
$1 billion
baddest
to look this
bitch.
good. Hold on, I'm gonna just for the kids on YouTube, just for the kids on YouTube. And if you want to see, go on my Instagram and you can find it. But for the kids on YouTube, it's just the way everything like it was such a come together moment, and I'm just grateful to God that everything came together because I literally told myself graduating from OU needed to be my picture perfect moment. Like I needed to
These
be able to look
pictures,
back
y'all.
over it
These
and tell
pictures.
myself this was what I needed because if the way everything came out so perfectly, like we had tested this shot at so many different locations, and this was the one that came out the best, baby. POV, you are my degree.
I was like,
I could not have asked for a better graduation season, a graduation experience, even with all the craziness, even with my car getting totaled, even with me literally getting like fucking done shits for my fucking test like multiple times, even with all the extra drama I went through, even with all the crazy full moons I went through, even with all the crazy serendipity moments that
where's
I
the
had to go through
tambourine
on
when you
my
need it?
job, like the things I had to experience, the people I had to see, the cycles that had to end, everything. Like it was a perfect year. But now we just get to see what comes next. And I would say with that, graduation, if anybody's in school, get through it, you can do it. And just realize that life is not ending after school. Like even as you put all this hard work into it and you think that like this is gonna be it, and once you do this hard work, everything's gonna make sense. That's a fucking lie. It's not at all. This shit only gets more confusing, if not, more fucking treacherous after you graduate. So enjoy the simplicity of those ramen noodles and chicken nugget dinners, because after that, you're gonna feel like shit.
Being drunk
Thank
don't hit
you.
the same. I do
Being
want to
drunk
say,
don't hit the same.
all I gotta say is one, round of applause. But also two. For those of you who don't know, me and Makai are actually great personal friends. I have seen so much growth in you and so much resilience, especially this last semester. This last semester, you finished it. It ain't finished you.
Okay.
You finished it,
It was
okay? It ain't
tough.
finished you.
It was
And
tough.
I feel like I was calling you, I was checking on you, I was making sure you was okay, and you was like, I'm just get through it. I'm gonna get through it. And he was like, look, like it's something's been on the other side, but I'm gonna just get through it. And I'm proud of you for it. And I'm tremendously proud. It's been a pleasure and an honor to see you succeed the way you do. And I know you're gonna continue to succeed. And I'm just like, yeah. And something about me, for those who don't know, I love seeing my friends win. I don't give a damn what I don't care what type of day I'm having. I love seeing my friends win. Like I know how hard you work to get there, to be where you are and where you want to go. It's a bad bitch.
It's so gay. I love
It's a
you.
bad bitch.
Oh.
It's a bad bitch. And I don't know who's gonna have the pleasure and honor to say that you are their partner, but that is one lucky motherfucker. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and one bold motherfucker too, because I'd be glad when I meet that nigga too, honey.
I'm like, nigga, where have you been?
Okay, where have
And
you
then like I
been?
can't. It's not like I can jack you up. So I'm be like, well, nigga, where the fuck have you been?
Something tells me he's foreign though. Like I really am starting to think that. Like he's not from America.
I think I'm gonna take that trip to Brazil. Y'all been telling me about.
Different podcast. Cause girl, you gotta go get ready. Let's get off this.
What's
podcast.
that? The shark type of shit that they're doing on TikTok. That was I forgot what it's called. But that and what was I gonna say? We might have to do a Chicago special. I'm gonna have to get a studio time.
That would definitely work.
And get somebody else to edit that shit while we go get drunk.
Oh, like real quick. Girl, forget that. That's our live episode. That just go straight after. No edit, no cut, just go. Like it don't even matter.
This is the pregame for the Ari Lennox show.
No, literally, like no hard. If we say something we regret, too bad. It's on the World Wide Web now. It's over.
Let me make sure I have a job first. I have a job. I don't know if we can just release uncut right now. There's a lot of shit. We
better have some talking cards, okay? You better have some talking cards and some points that you bring up and don't get off of those points. Shit, that'd be the game, okay?
I'll be like, all right. I have to go run Impact and get dressed and wash my ass. So this has been the Other Southerner podcast. Please follow us on social media at the Other Southerners podcast on Instagram, at OTH Southerners on Twitter. I don't know how long I'm going to be on Twitter, but we're still on Twitter right now. Follow us on YouTube, subscribe, like, share on YouTube at the Other Southerners podcast. Again, I'm your co-host, Jamila Reed, otherwise known as Southern Heat. That right there, hopefully I'm pointing to the right direction, but that right there is my co-host, Makai Seth Henfield, also known as the Diamond of Dallas Diamond. You can follow us also on our personal social medias, but just know, if the tea ain't sweet,
it ain't Southern, baby.
Thank you all so much for listening to us. We really appreciate y'all for listening to us for a year, a whole year.
Wait, wow. we started this podcast this year?
No, we've had the podcast for over a year.
Oh, over okay, right.
Yeah, we've been having this for over a year. So thank you all so much for listening. Thank you so much for giving us the reason to do this podcast. Sorry you haven't released that many, but please let us know. Hey, Jamila, Makai, get your shit together. You're out of school. You can record a podcast. You can make some time.
Maybe we can. Maybe we're so fucking busy making money. We only want to go to sleep when we're done with the day. But you don't know that because you're not interacting with your host.
All I gotta say is, if y'all want to know why I'm done messing with magic, or why I gotta live my how I'm messing around with magic, y'all gotta give us some views. Y'all gotta get some podcast so you give me this Patreon access. So y'all can get the story times that can't make YouTube.
You want to know why my car got totaled? You have to ask us that because that was a traumatic experience. I'd love to tell you about it. Okay, Patreon subscribers only.
OnlyFans.
Oh, sorry. You're not getting paid for that. I'm not getting paid for that. Just
all right, we're done with y'all. Please listen to us.
Love you guys.
Love y'all so much. Happy holidays. Be safe. And if you're in the airport, it gets better.
Oh God. Goodbye. And we're